Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Let's Taste with the Intrepid Wino. My name is James Scaresbrook. I'm joined, as I have been a number of times, by the gorgeous Millie, who's just come back from a walk. We're about to head into a nice Saturday evening at home. And what better reason than to open a bottle of wine than a lovely dinner at home with family. This is the second time that I've looked at a relatively new producer, both for myself and for Let's Taste, which is Michael Hall. Michael Hall, based in the Barossa in South Australia. And since I've been introduced to Michael Hall, I've actually started to see Michael Hall wines out quite a bit in the Melbourne dining and retail scene for wine. So I'm very excited to have the opportunity to look at three new wines from Michael Hall, all from the 2016 vintage. So yeah, look, without further ado, let's start off with a white wine, the only white wine on this edition, which is the 2016 Roussanne. Roussanne being a variety that is synonymous with the Rhone Valley in France. Often it's blended with varieties like Marsanne, Viognier, Grenache Blanc, that kind of thing. Recommended retail for this one from the Barossa Valley is $38 Australian. Roussanne is a variety you do see a bit of in Australia. Unsurprisingly, it tends to be planted in similar regions that have Shiraz, for example. So Barossa Valley, a very, very good example of that, of course. And Roussanne is more often in Australia done on its own. So I'm interested to see what this one from Michael Hall has to offer. It's got a really kind of lemony, lemon buttery, almost sort of Chardonnay-like aromatic character. There's some creaminess, there's some mallow characters here. There's a bit of a lanolin character, some lime in there. It smells quite rich, so based on the colour, it's got more of a goldeny colour. I'm guessing this is going to be quite rich and complex and creamy on the palate. So let's taste. It's good freshness, as I expected. I'm guessing there's a full mallow here, so it is quite rich and creamy. There is a sort of a buttery character. There's a very, very faint hint of toastiness to it. It is a complex wine. This is very much an alternative to a Chardonnay. If you like Chardonnay, particularly if you like them a little bit creamier and softer on the palate, this is a really excellent example of that style, but using a different variety. Roussanne is a variety that works tremendously well with that style of wine. So yeah, I mean, it's still very fresh though. It's not too heavy. Sometimes Chardonnays can be a little bit too heavy and overripe. I think this is well balanced. It's coming in at 12.4% alcohol according to the label. So it has a lot of freshness to it, which is really good. It is fresh enough to drink on its own, but it's also going to be very good with food. So I highly recommend that. $38. It's a decent amount of money to pay for a solid white wine, but I think that this wine is worth it. So a good start. The second one we're going to look at is a Pinot Noir. As mentioned, also from 2016, this time from the Adelaide Hills, which I believe is the other region that Michael Hall tends to source from. Adelaide Hills is pretty much the region for Pinot Noir in South Australia. There aren't as many cool climate regions in South Australia as there are in Victoria. Must be Ollie outside. Not super dark in colour. It's a sort of a very much a less is more kind of colour for Pinot Noir. Aromatically vibrant, nice bright fruits, red fruits, raspberry, red cherry. Quite pretty, a little bit of earthiness, a bit of stalkiness as well. There might have been some whole bunch in there. You know, very textbook sort of Adelaide Hills Pinot. So let's taste. That's really yummy. That's a really good Pinot. A touch oaky, you know, it's got a sweetness which I'm attributing in this case to more of an oaky character. You know, it's got a bit of a coconutty, vanilla character, but it's a beautifully structured Pinot. It's certainly the oak is not overwhelming things. It's not kind of hiding characters in the wine. I am seeing the beautiful brightness of the fruit, the freshness, the acidity. The tannins are fine but focused. Everything's well balanced. The alcohol is extremely well integrated here. This is an excellent Pinot. Recommended retail for $47. I think you'd be hard pressed to find Pinots that good, particularly in the Adelaide Hills. I have found that Adelaide Hills Pinots can be a bit hit and miss in the past, but that being said, it has been a while since I've looked extensively at Adelaide Hills Pinot. This is an absolute cracker, and I'm pretty happy with that. This is good fruit, well made. Stylistically, I really like that as well. The final wine is Shiraz, also from the Adelaide Hills, but also from, I'm assuming, also from Mount Torrens. Recommended retail is $50 for this one, so this is the most expensive of the three. So Adelaide Hills, Mount Torrens, like we're talking more cool climate here than the Barossa Valley. So we're probably going to see some pepper, spice characters rather than sort of red licorice, that kind of thing. Deep dark fruits, black currant, black forest cake. You know, there's a very sort of subtle chocolatey note to it. There is some spice, but it's very, very subdued. Nice and aromatic. But it's, you know, textbook Shiraz. Let's taste. Another winner, really, really good. I'm getting some oak quite late on the palate, and that's just sort of ruining that back end for me. It's balanced, it's fresh, it has dark fruits, but it's not too heavy, and the tannins are well managed. But yeah, the oak is just kind of clipping it there for me, and I feel that the back end I'm losing a little bit of complexity and depth because of that oak character. But look, it's really, really solid for $50. I think probably the Pinot is the winner for me in this lineup, although I would like to see it in a couple more years. I think the Roussanne is a really interesting opportunity to try something new. I think it's a really beautiful white wine. It's very much a food white wine, and the Shiraz is sound, but it's not kind of really exhilarating, and unfortunately there is a lot of Shiraz out there, and you get a lot of different styles as well. No idea what that noise is. Thank you very much, obviously, to the team at Michael Hall for very generously donating some samples for me to taste. and share my impressions here on Let's Taste with the Intrepid Wino. What on earth is that noise? If you would like to see your wines profiled here on Let's Taste, please do get in contact with me via my website. You can find that at intrepidwino.com. You can also follow me on social media at Intrepid Wino on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. If you like this video, hit the like button, share on social media. Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you've tried some Michael Hall wines and like to share your impressions, please feel free, or ask me a question if you'd like. And subscribe to the Intrepid Wino YouTube channel for more videos just like this. Hopefully I'll have some more Let's Taste videos to share with you soon, but until then, bye. Cheers. Bye. That's my podcast. Cheers.